over Boyle and I'm quitting alcohol. So I've started dreaming again. I've had to sort my sleep out because this week I started working earlier than I previously have. So 5 a.m. on the dot, I got to be up now for a 6 o'clock start, and I've got no choice. I've been backed into a corner. When I could get up a little bit later, like really stretching it, I could wake up at like 5 to 6 if I didn't care about being late, but like 5:45 was generally what I was doing. So 45 minutes earlier, that early in the morning makes a big fucking difference. So I had to start going to bed at 9 o'clock this week. In bed at 9 o'clock, not fully asleep, but because I'm getting up so early, I'm falling asleep a lot earlier as well. So fucking 9 o'clock at night, bed, that gives me 8 hours before the alarm goes off. And I can't fuck around. If I go to bed at 10:30, that's 6.5 hours sleep if I fall asleep immediately and wake up at 5 a.m. And that's just not doable. If it was 6 a.m., you could do a 6.5 hour thing, but 5 a.m., it's still fucking pitch black. It's been cold. It's winter now. You need your sleep. So I've been going to bed early. The earliest I've ever gone to bed. The kids go to sleep like 8:45. I have everything done. 15 minutes later, I'm in bed reading my book, which I finished, by the way. Another 1,210 page epic. That's 3 years in a row I've read an absolute monster. A couple of years ago, it was a Glastonbury romance by John Cowper Powys or some shit like that. Or is it Robert Cowper Powys? Anyway, I read that. Then last year, I knocked off Atlas Shrugged. And this year, it was Life and Fate by Vasily Grossman. And the main thing I got out of this book, the main thing was the lines between good and evil are very blurry. It was about the Russians and the Germans in Stalingrad in World War II. And it's very hard to point to who is the actual good guy, because when you say one is the good guy, you can point at it as a billion things that they did that were just absolute atrocities. And both of them, in their own way, thought they were doing good somehow. Anyway, what I got out of the book is being guided by the good, doing things in the name of good, is no way to guide behavior, because you just don't know. What you think is good could actually be bad, or it could be seen as good by some people and by other people it's bad. It's too risky, and obviously you don't want to be guided by the bad either. So you don't want to be guided by the good, because the good, many people have been murdered and slaughtered in the name of the good. So it's too risky a system to be guided by. The thing the book made me realize is the only way to act is with kindness. I read out that passage from the book a couple of weeks ago, and it rings true. Kindness is the only way to operate in the world. Be kind to your friends. Be kind to your family, be kind to strangers, be kind to your enemy, which is almost the most important to be kind to. But that is the only way to defeat the evil, is with the kindness. That's all I took out of it. The rest of it's just horror. Absolute fucking horror. Anyway, what was I saying? So I jump into bed, I start reading. Is that what I was up to? Yeah, fucking 9 o'clock, I'm in bed, start reading. I'm asleep, But because I have to wake up so early, I'm forced to go to bed early, which is forcing me to at least get like the 7.5, maybe 7 hours sleep, which is enough for me to start dreaming again. Because the last, I don't know, year, 2 years, like I haven't had like a run of good sleep for about 2 years, I would say. Like a 4-5 day block of just really good sleep. And I've had it this week, even though it's early to bed, early to rise. And the dreams are coming thick and fast and heavy. And they're all coming at once because I don't think I've had them, and they're just all banked up, and it's getting wild in there. There's fights, there's chases, there's fucking all sorts of stuff happening. There's some fucked up Friday stories in there. I got spat on by some guy. I was in a pub and he yelled down to me and just spat on me. And I'm like, I'm going up there to kill that cunt. And then some other guy was downstairs, one of his friends, and he was threatening me. And it was getting tense, and then I woke up. But it feels very good to be dreaming again. I had a nightmare last night. I can't remember what it was about, but I remember waking up at about 3 a.m. going, ooh, that was pretty scary. I'm not that keen to fall back asleep, and then I just fell back asleep and went straight back into the nightmare again. Can't remember what it was though. If I can keep this run of dreaming going long enough, I'll start a dream diary. And I will try and do the old lucid dreaming. I remember I did lucid dreaming once. It's all recorded on this podcast. I did it once like 5 years ago. I tried for a month, I think it was. And I eventually, one night, I woke up in my dream, lucid dreaming, and went for a fly around New York City it was. And then after that, instead of continuing to develop the skill, I stopped doing it for some reason and never went back to it. Or I was going to go back to it, but now that's like 5 years ago. I was still living in Camberwell in Melbourne. That was before COVID. So now I get back to it. That's what happens. You put something off for a week, 5 years later, you get back to it. Story of me fucking life. Anyway, let's see how it all goes. Let's see how it all fucking goes. Anyway, that will do for tonight. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you the fuck later.